I'm Sarah at St. Louis Skin Solutions. I'm one of the estheticians here.
And I'm Miranda. I'm one of the registered nurses here. Welcome to our virtual event where we are going to show you some of the cool new state-of-the-art devices that we just added to the practice.
We do want to make sure you stay till the very end where we will have a live question and answer segment for you.
And we're going to be having a raffle, a giveaway for one free Genius Plus LaseMD treatment. This is known as the Total Skin Solution. It is great for smoothing, tightening, and just overall rejuvenation. And we will have a special that will be shared at the end of the presentation, so make sure that you stay tuned. Okay, so today we're doing the Genius treatment. Genius is a radio frequency device that's delivered through microneedles. When we place the microneedles into the skin, we place them precisely at the depth that we want them to be and create little zones of coagulation of the tissue. And what that does is that controlled injury makes your body then come in and fix the injury, which produces collagen and elastin, which in turn helps to thicken, tighten, smooth the skin. So we've been working with a very similar device, the predicate device to this, the Infinity, which is also an RF microneedling machine. But when we found out that there was a much far superior device available, we decided that we couldn't live without it. This device actually gives you real-time feedback, so you know how much energy you're putting into the tissue. So with the real-time feedback, then we can get reproducible results from treatment to treatment because we know exactly how much energy we're putting into the skin. So with this device, we can treat pretty much any area of the face or body. It does exceptionally well for jowls and necks to help smooth and tighten those areas. It's great for stretch marks. It's great for acne scarring and anywhere that you just want a little bit of tightening or smoothing. So I've seen it work really well on inner thighs, underarms, any area where your skin is starting to sag. Abdomens are a big one too. Part of what's great about this treatment is that we can use it for all skin types. It does not target color. All it does is deliver energy, which converts into heat. Because we're making the body do the work, the results don't happen immediately. What happens is the collagen slowly builds over time. So we're starting at a baseline production of collagen, and then with this device we kind of bump it up a little bit. And it peaks at about 6 weeks, but we're doing our next treatment at about 4 weeks, so we're bumping it up a little more. And you're looking at about 3 treatments. So after we've done our 3 treatments, we're producing collagen at a much higher rate than our baseline, and then it takes about 6 months to get back down to that normal baseline. So during that time, you're producing collagen and elastin at a higher rate, and you're seeing slow, gradual improvement. This is a minimal downtime procedure. It is non-invasive, but we are putting needles into the skin. So you do have a little bit of redness and swelling post-treatment. Generally, the redness and swelling lasts anywhere from 2 to 7 days. Most people are pretty good to go within 48 hours. And then you do have those outliers that have a little bit more prolonged redness and swelling. It is important that you do not get excessive sun exposure and that you are wearing your sunscreen post-treatment and that you're taking care of and hydrating your skin afterwards. You really want to treat it like an injury. So you really need to baby that skin with good quality skincare that doesn't have harsh ingredients in it. Okay, so we're going to start some treatment. While we're doing treatment, what you can see is how much energy we're delivering per needle, and then how much energy we've delivered total. And this gives me real-time feedback by flashing a green, yellow, or red light to let me know if I'm doing the treatment properly. I'm going to try this one. Ready? I'm going to do one little shot just so you can feel it first, okay? Not too bad?
Nothing.
Okay, here we go. So this treatment is a little uncomfortable. We do apply topical numbing prior, but if you need a little extra help with comfort, we also offer Pronox to help take the edge off. So we do this treatment in segments. I just did one pass on one segment of his lower face. Now I'm going to go a little more shallow and do another pass so that we're getting volumization at different levels of the skin. Okay, ready? There we go, same area. I always start with the lower face because that's where we're delivering the most energy. And that's usually where people have the most laxity and need the improvement most. We use lower energies in areas that are bony or have thinner skin. Okay, we're done with that segment. Just gonna wipe that away a little bit. And we'll move on to our next one. So the sunburn feeling that you feel right now is going to usually last about 2 hours. You can ice. Just make sure that if you ice, you use a clean towel wrap tack because we've numbed your skin and you can't always feel it. So one of my favorite post-treatment products is the Elastin Regenerating Skin Nectar. This really helps to heal the tissue and helps decrease the downtime. You do need to be careful with what you use post-treatment with this because anything you put on could potentially penetrate more deeply, so you don't want to put anything on after that could potentially irritate the skin. So this is the Clarity 2. This is the latest and greatest laser hair removal device. It has two wavelengths, the 755 nanometer and the 1064 nanometer, so we can treat all skin types with this. It also has this great IntelliTrack system that gives us perfect overlap when we are doing our treatments. And Sarah is going to tell us a little bit about laser hair removal.
So for our laser hair removal treatments, we typically recommend a series of 8 to 12 treatments minimum. And you're going to come about every 4 weeks apart for the face and every 6 to 8 weeks apart for the body.
So the best candidate for laser hair removal is somebody with light skin and dark hair. There's more contrast between the color in the hair that we want to get rid of and the color in the skin that we don't want to treat. We are able to treat all skin types, however, but usually if you have a darker skin type or lighter skin and lighter hair, you require more treatments than somebody who has light skin and dark hair. Just like any other laser with this device, it does make you more photosensitive, so you need to avoid overexposure to the sun a week before and a week after treatment, and don't use any harsh topical products on the area to be treated. You can treat any area of hair with this device. If there's hair that you don't want, then we can get rid of it.
Thank you everybody for watching our virtual event on these awesome new lasers. We're so excited to share the information and share these treatments with you.
Raffle winners will be contacted via email, and don't forget to check your texts and reply yes to make an appointment for your consultation or treatment.
And now we will have a question and answer segment. So any questions you have, feel free and we'll answer those for you right now.
All right, are we here? Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Great.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching us on this icy evening.
Yes, we appreciate you joining us tonight. And now we're going to answer some questions. Before we start the questions, I just want everyone to take a look at my face and neck. I had the total skin solution today, this morning. So this gives you an idea of the amount of redness and swelling that you can expect post-treatment. So we'll just kind of start with some questions. Sarah, if you just want to alternate questions, we can. Or
Okay.
First one we have is, which laser is best for collagen plumping? So to help with collagen regeneration, the Genius is going to be ideal for that. So as you saw in the video, it creates these little zones of coagulation, which sends a message to your body that there's been an injury. And when your body repairs that injury, it produces collagen and elastin. So it helps to kind of tighten and smooth the skin.
So another question that I'm seeing is how many treatments are usually needed for the Genius? Typically going to recommend 3 treatments spaced a month apart. Some people may need more depending on what we are trying to treat. Deeper acne scars, deeper lines, we may require more, but 3 is a good place to start, and we'll evaluate as we go. And again, we will wait 1 month in between those sessions. Now for laser hair reduction, when we're using the Clarity, minimum of 8 to 12 treatments usually, and those are spaced differently depending on what area. Face every 4 to 6 weeks, and body usually every 6 to 8.
Good. So next question. This is a good one. Does it hurt? Short answer is yes. So these are not necessarily pleasant. They can be uncomfortable. The Genius more so than the hair removal. But we do apply a topical numbing prior to treatment to help take the edge off. And then we offer Zimmer cooling, which helps. And if you have a ride, we can offer Pronox, which is a nitrous oxide oxygen blend, helps you just kind of deal with it a little better. Or an MKO melt, which is a little bit of pain reliever, anti-anxiety pill. But for those, you would need someone to drive you. So it's tolerable. It's not pleasant, but it's definitely tolerable.
Great answer, Miranda. So another question is, what is the downtime for the Genius? Minimal downtime. You should expect to be red, a little bit of swelling, and irritated feeling for the rest of the day. Some people, that redness will resolve by the next day. For others, you can have some lingering redness for 48 hours, maybe up to 72 hours, depending on the aggressiveness of the treatment and the sensitivity of your skin. But I would say for most, up to 72 hours for some redness and mild irritation.
Yep, I would agree with that. With that being said, if you have a big event or something coming up, there are always outliers. So you could potentially have redness for
Good
longer.
point.
So we definitely would have you not do a treatment within 2 weeks of something, some event that you need to look good for.
Yep.
So who is a good candidate? With this, it's actually anyone can be treated with either the Genius or the Clarity. So with the Genius, the best candidates are people who are starting to get some skin laxity. So if you're starting to notice, part of the reason I had it is I felt like my face fell this year. So you're starting to notice a little jowling or laxity in the neck, maybe some, just kind of wrinkling and that sort of thing. You are an excellent candidate for this. if you have significant laxity and you would really be a surgical candidate, we can still treat with the Genius, but you're not going to achieve surgical results, but you can achieve some improvement. It's also great for acne scarring. It's probably my favorite treatment for acne scarring. And then the Clarity, we can treat all skin types. The best candidates are those who have lighter skin and darker hair, are going to achieve results faster. But as long as your hair is not blonde, white, gray, or very light red, we can treat it with this laser.
All right, so I'll move on to the next question. How soon after can I wear makeup? With the Genius, I would wait 24 hours since it is a microneedling device. We do want to let your skin heal a little bit before you're introducing anything like makeup that could irritate your skin. So wait that full 24 hours. In addition to that question, they also asked if your face will be peeling like a sunburn. No, usually not. You'll feel like you have a sunburn and you'll be pretty red like a sunburn for the rest of that day. Some people may experience mild flaking or peeling, but generally not a whole lot of peeling with the Genius. With the Clarity laser hair reduction, generally no peeling at all. Makeup can be worn right after the laser hair reduction.
Yep. Let's see. How much tightening can I expect? So that is definitely going to vary from person to person. People who have less laxity, generally we would deliver less energy into their tissue. So I usually try to say with about every treatment, you will see about a 20 to 30% improvement in your skin from where it is. And that does vary. Ways to make it better are to use your at-home skincare. If you know me, you've heard me say this a million times. It's just like going to the dentist. You do not go to the dentist twice a year and call it good. You brush your teeth every day, and that's what prevents cavities. So what you do at home actually makes a huge difference when you're talking about maintaining your results with this treatment. The other thing is staying well hydrated. So we usually recommend that you drink about a third of your body weight in ounces of water per day for 3 days prior to treatment. And that's really going to help this radiofrequency energy absorb into your tissue and get you a better result.
All righty. So next question, how long does the treatment take? For Genius, about 45 minutes of numbing, 45 minutes of treatment time. Could go a little bit quicker or a little bit longer for giving breaks. Since, like Miranda said, it can be a little uncomfortable, so we can always pause, give you a minute to breathe if needed, but usually about 30 to 45 minutes, so not too bad. And as she mentioned, we will have that topical numbing on for about 45 minutes beforehand as well, and that helps a lot.
Another question is, do you have to repeat the treatment every 6 months to keep your collagen level up? So not necessarily. You're going to kind of see your optimal result at 6 months. It's been my experience that I see people actually still continue to slowly improve over time. But most people will do, after they've gone through their series and gotten their result, will do maybe a single treatment once a year, twice a year, once every other year, depending on what their at-home and maintenance regimens are. We've got some great options here at St. Louis Skin Solutions for laser maintenance treatments that aren't quite as intense as this, but it'll help to kind of improve those results and prolong those results.
I like that answer. It's all about maintenance. Skincare is a big part of that, and we can always develop an individual maintenance plan for everybody. We're going to switch a little bit and talk about the hair reduction. Somebody asked if hair removal is permanent. For most, there's always some long-lasting reduction. A lot of the hair that's going to go away will stay away. There's always going to be some fine hair especially that will be more stubborn and linger. So it's not going to get rid of every single hair, but for the candidates who have that dark hair that it's really going to target really well, it will permanently reduce that for a long time, just like the Genius maintenance is needed with laser hair reduction on the Clarity, or any device maintenance can be needed for that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sarah. And then also, if there's a hormonal component to the hair, so PCOS, or if you have some hormone changes, you can always regenerate new follicles. So we generally say about 80% permanent reduction, and then you might need to have a few kind of touch-up treatments for that 20%. But for someone who has a hormonal condition, it might be more of a ongoing type thing. And then somebody did ask about hormone replacement. I'm not sure if that's for the Genius or for the Clarity, but if you're taking hormone replacements, like I said, that could affect hair removal. It's not really going to have much to do, much effect on having the Genius treatment.
So next question I'm seeing is, which treatment would we suggest for someone with rosacea? And that would be our enhanced skin rejuvenation done on the Clarity. It helps to target those little blood vessels, shut them down, so you see less redness in the skin. So using the enhanced skin rejuvenation on the Clarity is perfect for reds and browns in the skin.
Yep. And that's a really great point, Sarah. So we've been, the video highlighted the hair removal aspect of the Clarity, but there's actually a lot that we can do with this laser. It's got dual wavelengths. So not only does that allow us to treat all skin types for hair removal, it also allows us to treat concerns of redness, brown, active acne. We can actually do a little bit of light collagen stimulation with that. So if you're not ready for the full effect of the Genius, you can do some collagen stimulation to help with fine lines and large pores, all kinds of things that we can do with the Clarity, with that enhanced skin rejuvenation.
Yep. And then I am seeing if any of these can be used for the neck or chest. Yes, absolutely. Genius is amazing, especially on the neck area. Very good to help give a little bit of lift, tightening around this area that a lot of us hate. So the Genius definitely is great for a little bit of lifting, tightening, and smoothing the neck and jawline. Can be done on the chest as well to smooth the little crepey skin that a lot of us do get.
Yep. And you can see I had my neck done today as part of it. So it's actually really great for the neck and jawline. Seeing a question about costs. So the Genius per treatment is $850. And then when you do the total skin solution that adds the LaseMD, which is a more kind of superficial, non-ablative resurfacing on top, that's normally a $375 treatment. And so you get half off basically when you add it to the Genius. Our enhanced skin rejuvenation starts at $175 per treatment, and that just depends on the time it takes. So if we're just doing a small area, it's going to be less. If we're doing a large area, it's going to be more. LaseMD is starting at $385 to $450. And then the Clarity hair removal, for very small areas, it starts at $60 per treatment, and then it just depends on the size of the area. So these are definitely items that we would go over with you in your consultation, so you would know exactly what price point you're walking into before you start your treatment.
So let's see. One of the next questions I'm going to get to is LaseMD a better procedure versus the Genius? So LaseMD is another amazing device that we have at our office. They do different things. They are different types of devices. They can actually be used together, like Miranda has mentioned, and that is the total skin solution that she had today, the Genius with the LaseMD on top. One is not better than the other. They're just different. LaseMD is going to be a little bit more superficial, help with that resurfacing, whereas the Genius is using microneedling with radio frequency, penetrating deeper. You will see more of a lifting, tightening effect, especially that is going to be more apparent in the jawline. So they're both great and can be done together.
Yes. I've got one, interest in the Clarity for facial dark spots, asking for us to explain. So the way that this works is for dark spots on the face with Clarity, we use the 755 nanometer wavelength, which has a pretty good affinity for pigment. Not so much that we can't use it on some darker skin types, but basically what it does is when the laser is applied to the skin, it is selectively absorbed by the melanin or the pigment in that dark spot. It heats it up and kind of breaks it up. And then you see over the next week or so, that dark spot actually gets darker as that broken up pigment comes to the surface, and then it sloughs off. We never permanently remove dark spots. To do that, we would have to 100% eliminate your melanocytes and leave you with white spots. So usually about 3 treatments 4 months apart, or I'm sorry, 3 treatments 4 weeks apart will get you your optimal result. And then just like anything, maintenance is going to keep it up, especially wearing sunscreen. There's no point in removing your dark spots if you're going to go out in the sun without sunscreen.
That's right. So we have a follow-up question about clarity. What's the difference between clarity and IPL when talking about treating rosacea or dark spots or even hair reduction? IPL is just a completely separate type of device. IPL is intense pulse light, so it's a pulse of light that just flashes a broad light, whereas the clarity being used for hair reduction or facial rejuvenation, the dark spots or the red spots, it's going to be a more targeted, more precise type of treatment. So whether we're treating the redness or brown spots or hair reduction, we find that the clarity gives us a better result.
It's also safer to use a laser versus an IPL because you're working with one wavelength versus a range of wavelengths. So just from a scientific point of view, it's a safer, more targeted device. We've got a couple questions about treatments for under eyes, turkey necks, and lip lines. In short, the answer is yes, the Genius can treat all of those. Check. I definitely think the total skin solution, adding the LaseMD on top of the Genius, is going to be best if you have both laxity where you need some actual tightening and then lines, because the Genius will help to tighten and it'll help with those deep lines, and then the LaseMD on top will help with the more superficial lines. So that's excellent for around the eyes and excellent for lip lines.
So a question I'm seeing right now is what the aftermath after the Genius is like is compared to our standard microneedling. So depending on if somebody is wondering the downtime to standard microneedling, similar, maybe a little bit more red and irritated feeling that day immediately after. And then as far as results, the Genius is going to yield a better tightening result than our skin pen microneedling, which is still a great offering for texture. This one is going to be even better though for lifting, tightening, and then those deeper acne scars.
Let's see, we have questions about rosacea and vessels. So we kind of already touched on this with the clarity. The clarity would be a great treatment with our enhanced skin rejuvenation for anything vascular. So, and pustular, really. So vascular rosacea, pustular rosacea, any little broken capillaries. It's actually great for active acne as well. So if you have acne, we can treat the acne with the clarity. Once it's under control, if you have scarring, we can treat it with the Genius LaseMD combo.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to say, I see a question about asking if we can treat Genius on the body, specifically around the knees. Yes, we can use Genius on the body. One of the amazing upgrades of this device compared to what we have is it comes with a bigger tip for treating the body, which is going to make that treatment go faster, be more comfortable than what we had in the past. So really good for lax skin on the body, around the knees, elbows, crepey skin, chest, neck. Perfect for all of that.
Awesome for stretch marks on the abdomen, inner thighs, and then the kind of bat wing arm type thing. And just like with anything else, the more laxity you have, the more treatments are required. So it would be something we would discuss in your consultation, how many treatments we think you would need. And then we've got someone asking about if the Genius causes any facial fat loss. So my answer would be not when done properly. So radio frequency can affect fat cells, but we don't want to remove fat, our fat pads in our cheeks. So The fat sits at about 3.5 millimeters, 3 to 3.5 millimeters in depth, and we generally keep our needles at about 2 millimeters max, maybe a little bit deeper, because the coagulation zone travels up and down. So when applied properly, we stay out of the sub-Q, and we're not going to melt the fat on your face, nor are we going to affect any fillers that you might have underneath the face or underneath the skin.
So continuing on with the Genius, I'm seeing a question wondering if it's a good option for sun damage. Well, the sun damage is laxity, lines, discoloration. Genius is great for lines, texture, and laxity. As far as discoloration, we would probably recommend the Enhanced Skin Rejuvenation or the LaseMD, but with our total skin solution, doing the LaseMD on top of the Genius, you will get that resurfacing as well. So yes, doing the LaseMD with the Genius will help for discolored sun damage. But if that's somebody's main concern, during a consultation, we might find that something else could possibly be better.
Yep. And we actually have a question asking about comparing the Genius to the Mix 2, which is fractional CO2 laser. So Genius is not a resurfacing device. The fractional CO2 will resurface, and it's ablative, so you have quite a bit more downtime. But when you add the LaseMD on top of the Genius, then you also get the resurfacing included without the downtime, because it's non-ablative resurfacing. I would say they don't really compare like apples to apples. If you can go with quite a bit of downtime, you can get really amazing results with the CO2. The Genius is generally less downtime, but usually you trade off downtime for treatments. We can get pretty aggressive with the Genius and give you a little bit of downtime if that's something that you're wanting to get really aggressive on. But I'd say that they both are really great options for skin tightening. That's the beautiful thing about the technology these days. We have a lot of crossover between devices, and we can do a lot of the same thing with different devices and different things too.
I totally agree. Yep. I see a question about scheduling for the Genius, if it's the whole face or just one area. When we are treating or scheduling Genius for the face, that is one area. And then to add the neck would be a separate area, or chest, or so on. Very easy to do multiple areas such as face, neck, and chest all in one day. We will always get right under here though, so that we can give that tightened jawline effect.
And I think we may have already answered this, but I've seen a couple asking about when you can wear makeup. You can wear makeup, usually we say the next day. So those little micro channels that are created actually close up in about 6 hours, but we do have you wait until the following day. So usually 24 hours before wearing makeup. I will say that it is best to use clean brushes. Your skin is injured, so you need to be gentle and not put anything that might have bacteria on it.
So I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm still reading over some of the questions. We're getting a few more questions about cost. So in case anyone's just now hopping on, want to go over that cost for you again. It is $850 per treatment for the Genius. We do recommend multiple sessions, usually 3 treatments is going to be a great place to start. And then to add the LaseMD afterwards that same day, to have the total skin solutions, you're going to get half price on your LaseMD. So that is normally $375, so half the price of that to be added onto your Genius.
And then let's see.
And we do have some special pricing for those of you out there today. And I believe that is that you would get the LaseMD complimentary.
Yes.
Yep, you get the LaseMD complimentary after your Genius treatment for all of you viewers out there today. So everybody watching who calls in or emails for those consultations and sets up their treatments, you get that Total Skin Solutions package for the price of the Genius, and that's going to give you the best result.
Yes. And then we are going to do a drawing. So the winner will be contacted by email, but one person who is watching today will receive one free Total Skin Solution treatment with the Genius and the LaseMD. We've got questions here about reduction of pore size. The Genius because it's a deeper penetration, I do not recommend it necessarily for pore size. It might help a little bit, but you really need the total skin solution or just the LaseMD to get superficially enough to really affect those pores. And along that line, we have someone asking about the difference between LaseMD or Fraxel. So LaseMD and Fraxel are 1927 thulium lasers. And what they do is they target water. So the Genius is a radio frequency device, and it doesn't necessarily target anything. It's just, it needs water to conduct the energy, but it just heats the tissue. So when we are applying the LaseMD, it doesn't target, it isn't absorbed enough by water that it really affects the stratum corneum, which is the top layer of your skin. So it just kind of disrupts that stratum corneum and then stops right at the live layer of tissue, right at the dermal epidermal junction, where you have about 70% water. And it creates a little zone of coagulation just underneath the surface of the skin, so you can really resurface those superficial fine lines and large pores. And it also removes the damaged tissue with sunspots and that sort of thing. So it's not necessarily targeting the pigment, but it's almost a happy side effect that it evens out the skin too, because of where the laser lands in the tissue.
So I am seeing so many great questions about the Clarity and the Genius. I love it. I'm going to switch back to the Clarity and knock out two of these questions for you guys. Wondering how many treatments to use for the Clarity to target dark spots or discoloration. 3 is kind of a magic number for a lot of things that we do, but of course, upon consultation, seeing your skin in person will give you a better idea. And then once we start your treatment plan, we'll get a better idea as we go. Sometimes after treatment or 2, we'll really be able to evaluate your skin a little better and see how your results are going. Usually we're going to recommend starting with 3 though. And then somebody asked back to the Genius, if that helps people with sensitive skin or red patches. Not necessarily, probably the Clarity, doing our enhanced skin rejuvenating treatment on the Clarity, that's going to be better for redness or dark spots as well.
And just to remind everyone, you will be receiving a text after this event that's going to ask if you want to be contacted for a consultation. If you reply yes, we will contact you to schedule consultation, and we can more specifically answer questions that you have and that address your specific skin needs. So Genius treatments are performed by our estheticians and nurses. So Sarah's one of our estheticians. I'm also an esthetician and a nurse. And then we've got Laura, and we've got Cassie, our nurse practitioner, who are all doing these treatments.
I'm seeing a question about cost for the Clarity. As far as laser hair reduction, depends on the area, starts as low as $60 per treatment. And then for our enhanced skin rejuvenation, it will go by time. 15 minutes worth of time is $175. And then 30 minutes of time, I believe, is $300 or $350. We've got new service menus and brochures for the new year with all of our updated procedures and pricing. So those are available now in the office, and we'll be able to go over any specific pricing for you guys over the phone or during your consultation.
We've got a question here about spider veins on the legs. The Clarity is actually, we can use the 1064, which is the gold standard for laser leg vein removal. I will say if the veins are larger than 3 millimeters in diameter, they should not be treated with laser. So if they are true spider veins, we can definitely treat them. If you have an actual varicosity, then we would not treat them with a laser. And then we have someone asking to remind us again how long between Genius treatments. Usually about 4 weeks. Sometimes with total skin we might wait 6 weeks, and then on the body usually 6 to 8 weeks, because the body does take longer to heal than the face.
So looks like we've got a lot of the questions for you. If there's anything else you guys want to know, keep it on coming. Looking through to see if there's anything we haven't gotten to.
Yep. If you want to get those last minute questions in, we will be closing down questions here in just another minute or so. We thank you all so much for attending. We are really excited about these new devices. They are top of the line. And of course, our staff is amazing. So great staff, great devices. Yeah, we're really excited to have them in here.
So I do see somebody asking again about the pain comparison between Genius and LaseMD. You will feel the Genius a little bit more, and it just feels different. It is going to be a different kind of sensation. So that's why we have more comforting tools available, such as the MKO melt if needed, the chiller that's going to blow the cold air, that helps a lot, and then the Pronox to help relax you throughout the treatment if needed. But I would say yes, Genius can be more uncomfortable than LaseMD.
I would agree. I had both today, so it's very fresh in my mind. All right. It looks like we've gotten all the questions. So just remember, if you call to schedule now, our special is scheduled to Genius, and you will get that LaseMD added on top of it at no additional charge. And then watch your email to see if you won our free treatment.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we can't wait to take all your calls and emails tomorrow and get you set up.
Yep. And don't forget to answer yes when you get a text asking if you'd like a consultation. So thanks again, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.